Well, I have no idea if my sound works or not today. I think I can hear myself, so I'm just gonna roll with it. I don't care. It really doesn't matter. All right, what is up, YouTube? It's Cord Campbell back again today. Yet another day, I don't know, another method call. Okay, so I've got a few changes I've done here. I'm just gonna show them off a little bit. Number one, we've got a new indexer running. So we've wiped out our index. Really need to get the history thing rolling, but soon enough. I guess I could put it on the list of things to do. Oh God, I had my configuration file there. I'm glad I didn't click on it. That's never a good thing to show the config file online or on stream. Okay, so history. I just like doing the issues like this. It's much easier than doing it on GitHub. GitHub's great for issues, but I mean, when you're working on something by yourself, that's just pointless. Okay, so I've got, let's switch back to strange prawn here. Now, what's interesting is that I switched over to the new indexer. So it's a new Solr box, which is this LKQ4. And what's interesting, the other one just got shut down. But I'm going to start that one back up in case somebody uses prod. This one's running prod now, this one's running dev. The grub group is handling both of them. So the grub group will post to this one, I think. I don't know how that works. I think that's the way it works. How does that work? This could be interesting. Yeah. Let's see here. It says upload URL, config grub website URL. It could potentially be a problem. I don't know. I guess I could move the window over and then scroll. I could probably do that. Let's try that. I kind of need to move the, yeah, this should work. I have to open this config file. So there's a, yeah, the Solr IP right here, I need to get rid of that guy. Just comment it out. And then I need to close it now. How do I close it? Oh, that'll work. Okay. Disaster averted. Okay, we now should be talking to the other box. It should say it's down. Oh no, that's right. Okay. Great. And I'm going to shut this other one down because I don't need it right now. So I was starting up a new box just to test. I'm just going to delete it. Just to test to see if it was still working. And I did an upgrade. I think to like 8.8.1 or something like that. Let's see here what it is. 8.8.1, I believe. Solr 8.8.1. And I did that because I'm getting ready to start making that instance permanent. So it'll always be running. The grub group always runs, but it's those instances are managed. So Google will restart those. Google Cloud will restart them for me. Let's see, what are we looking at here? Grub 2. The Solr deployment is inside the grub repo. So if you're interested in that, not that I'm getting a lot of interest in the videos right now, but that's okay. That's in the grub Solr scripts. So grub 2.0 under my account. And then there's a deploy Solr script, and that'll deploy Solr on Google Cloud for you. It's quite easy to run. Solr is an awesome piece of software. So there it is right there. Deploy Solr, and I'll kind of show you how it works. just because I was thinking earlier it'd be cool to show it off. So you just run that, and then I say authorize, and what I've done is I've taken out the static IP address out of there. Right now it's hard-coded to this address. And eventually what we'll have running is a Solr cloud deployment. But in this particular case, it's just a static box. It's just a single box running. So nothing complicated, not yet at least. Pretty soon, though, we'll have that Solr. Well, I mean, assuming we get launched, which we're working toward. If we get launched, then we'll get that Solr cloud stood up, and that'll take care of scalability and backups and things like that for us. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump in here to tag, and so this is what I was working on right now, and I've got the docs going more or less all up until basically tag. So I've got some new stuff in search that I added off stream. I think I think I mentioned that I'd probably work on a little bit on it off stream, and I did. So search is now working. I got the Solr facet stuff working, so you can see an example here of running a JSON query into Solr. So this gets posted to the sidekick nickname. So /s/sidekick nickname, and that's right here. And then when you post that with a data binary add facet query, you have to put the content type application JSON on there. And then when it comes back, it will give you this term list. In this particular case, I'm asking for 10 terms. And so I haven't indexed, we can see here what we've got. I think it's still in here. So we're just going to search for everything. I think that will work. And so that's what it's looking at right now, is it's looking for all the documents that are in there in this search, I believe. So yeah, so it's saying don't bring back any documents. So don't give me any docs. So that's why there's no docs there. And then give me something called title terms, which is here. And you have a count, so there's 14 total documents returned. And then it says what to do here. It says give me the terms from the field title. So this thing. So if we had a way in here to do that, and we eventually will have a way to do that in here, but right now we don't. But it's basically these lines here is what we're returning. So if Google News is in there, there's Google a couple times. Elon Musk is in there a couple times. So if we go back and look at that, maybe those are popping up. It just depends. Well, Google is appearing 4 times. The word in, barrier, breaking faster. So maybe we bookmarked a page a couple times. Breaking the warp barrier for faster warp. Yeah, see, we saved that one like 3 times. Probably just because I was playing around with it or something. It got saved a few times in there. Anyway, so what we're doing now is we're going to go in and move toward basically indexing something after sending it to the tagger. And the taggers, those are the machine learning libraries. So I've renamed these, so they should be renamed by now. Let's see here. I need to update the APIs probably. What did I do to time warp? I closed that up. Okay, that's all I did to time warp. Okay, so I'm going to close that. I'm going to leave devlog open. I'm going to close index. I'll show this off. So I did a couple more pages. So I redid the page stuff down here. I changed all this a little bit to be a little bit clearer about what it is we're doing. I'm trying to like tighten up, like what is it that Mitta does? So that's what I was doing today. I did an about page, put the dog and I on here, even though the dog's gone. But the dog will be back. Maybe the dog will be on stream next time. And what else did I do? I cleaned up these. I got rid of our Getter account. I don't like that. So I put a mention in here if for people to get a hold of us. Oh, I created a new Twitter account. For whatever reason, Mitta US got, I guess, hacked. I guess somebody took it. I think I didn't make a good password. So anyway, I created a new Twitter account. So there's that. And I posted a YouTube URL, and we have 0 followers. So that is what it is on YouTube. I mean, on Twitter anymore. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Is we're gonna work on tag, and I've renamed these. So I think I called them. So what I did is I created 2 methods. So I created, or I should say methods, routes. So this is the objects, and then this one is, that's the list, and then this one is the text. Which probably should be text, document text. I don't know if I want to use the regular text extractor. I don't think the document extractor works text extractor works very well for some things, like extracting images on a code or something. But I don't know. I'll have to figure it out later. That's this thing right here, this document text detection, as opposed to just text detection. All right, so what we've got is currently we're returning a document that's called spool tag. But what I really want to do is I want to send it straight from the tagging API straight into the index. So what is going to have to happen is, maybe, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull up the Solmic real quick, and I'm gonna sketch this out real quick. So I've done a little bit of that in the previous episode, but here's what I'm gonna do is what am I using here? Vision model. Let's see here. Let's go in here and do this. Okay, so we have some vision models like so, and then we're going to have a spool. So let's show a spool like this. So usually images, when you're mocking up something, they usually look like a box with a line through them. So we're just gonna copy a couple of those. So this is a spool, and we need some text. So let's get let's use this button here. And then this is a spool. And what I'm proposing to do here is we're going to take, let's bring this to the front. We're going to take that spool and we're going to pass it to a vision model. And we're going to have a couple of those that we do that with. Something like this. And then what's going to happen is we're going to take the output of this from the vision model, and what it's going to do is it's going to throw some fields on here like this. Let's copy all those. We're going to copy that down here just like that. And then what do we need? A database? Something that looks like a database. And then, can we not make that bigger? We need an extra large database. And that's our index. So these are going to get stuck in here. I say these documents. These are documents that are generated, and they're going to get thrown into the indexer through the vision model. But now the thing is that whenever we are running the and let me clarify here. So this is, can I do something like this? And then this would be /t, right? Yeah, good. Let's delete this one. Copy that down here, and then we're going to send that to the back. And then we're going to have another one of these, and we're going to copy it down here. And this time, this is not the vision model. This is just the upload endpoints. Oh, I'm sorry, the index endpoints. So that's an r/n, and then we're going to do a /I here, like that. And then what's going on here, right, is that we've got basically, we're going to have the taggers. For example, this is like an object. And then this model is text. So now the spool itself will have, let's see if can I do this? Yes, I can do that, but I can't move the end of it. So the spool will have some metadata in it, so we could kind of indicate that down here. So it has like a title and description. But whenever we throw it to the index endpoint, then it goes into the index. So it indexes the title and the description. But when we send these to the models, then what we're actually doing here is we're having to look in the file names. And so those are the things that actually get looked at by these vision models are the file names, and the file names are images. So what happens is fields come out of the models, which is sort of what I'm indicating here, is different fields are coming out of these models, and then those fields can go into the index, but these fields just kind of go along for the ride into the index. So they're already in the spool to start with. But then these models, or the sending it to the tagger models, then create new fields from the file names, because the model looks at it, and then that's thrown into the index. So that's kind of what we're doing here. That kind of explains it visually. So maybe that's a little bit too much data, but nevertheless, there we go. Okay, so we want to go into the API. And we want to look at the models, and we want to make sure these are named right. So this is what they look like right now. I added this one in here, image cropper, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to call it cropper. And then this one is objects. I think that's what I said in the tagger. Objects. And then this one is text. Just text, even though it's document text detection. I just want to keep these short and sweet. And then what happens is the URLs are gonna look like the nickname for, let's see here. I don't know why that says Nick there. That's all it is right there. Model list. Oh, for the nick. So that is right. So it's gonna be something like, I guess we go to the APIs, we're gonna have to update this real quick. This is gonna be the sidekick nick. I don't know. I need to sort of standardize how I'm referring to those, but that'll work for now. So that's the sidekick nick, and you can just type in whatever you want there, and then it'll give you the models available for that particular sidekick. So in theory, a sidekick, one particular sidekick might have, for example, the object model or the object vision model, and one might have just the image cropper, for example. And I don't know, like model ID, it's definitely down here, so I don't know. Should I keep them like that? I'm not sure. Maybe I should keep the long ones. I don't know. I was kind of leaning toward not keeping the long ones, but so this would be object vision like this, and then this one will be document text detection. Is it underscore? When we look at our nicknames, they're dashes, so I think I'm going to use dashes here. Like that. And then we would have another one for image cropper. So I'm just going to leave image cropper in there right now, but we're not going to have that immediately. That's going to be the model that I train. So once I get done with everything, but before launch, so before episode 100, I'll train a model, a TensorFlow model or a neural network model of some type or another to start cropping images. So I'll have to figure out how to do that, but it shouldn't be hard, but you never know. So might be hard. Okay, so this is the sidekick, I guess. I don't know, I wanted to say Nick, but maybe we'll say sidekick. Guess it doesn't matter. We can call it whatever we want. Because it's not a parameter. So I gotta fix this one, side kick. So I've just created two calls here, so I'm gonna focus on, so that's called sidekick. That's called sidekick. This one's sidekick, this one's sidekick, okay. So then we want to get, so we want to get the sidekick. Well, actually we're getting the sidekick. Well, we don't need this anymore. We're getting rid of this. So the sidekick equals the actually capital sidekick from the class, and we want get by user ID and nick. So we want to look it up by the sidekick. I guess the sidekick nick, we're saying in the document sidekick nick. Here we can say whatever we want because it's just a variable. But we need to, I guess I'll rename it nick because then the sidekick needs to be called sidekick. So we don't want to squash the variable. So we're going to say nick here. And then this one will be called nick, the sidekick nick. All right. So now we've figured this out, and then the spool is going to be, we are going to have to get the spool, so get the sidekick entry, and then we're going to need to get the spool entry, and the way that we're going to get the spool is the spool equals the request form, wait a minute, let's see, how are we going to pass that in? It's spool nick. And that says spool ID. But really what it is the spool nick, like that. So this is not being passed in, well, it's a post, so it will be the spool. So it'll be request, maybe we could just call it spool. We could call it the spool. Because we could use either or like we did before. So we need to say spool equals, and then we can say nick or name like we did before. Like that. And then what we can do is git/t/sidekick nick right here. That's just indicating to get a list of the sidekicks of it, or the list of the models. And then here we're using sidekick nick. We need to say sidekick nick. And then model ID, I guess we put model ID. That's fine, because we're reporting a model ID here. And better to not confuse things by saying model name or whatever, right? I mean, I guess we could say model name. Like that. I think that looks good. Let's reload this. It's hard to read in here sometimes. So, okay, so we have token, spool, nick, or name. That makes sense. We got a /t sidekick nick here. And then we've got the model name. And then we've got model name. And we've got a pretend. This is a pretend response, so I just pasted this in here temporarily. And then it requires token and the spool's nick or name passed in via the spool parameter. Yeah, so this, nick or name. Okay, that looks good. So now what we need to do, is this right? So this says object vision, so nick or name there. That looks good, so nick. And then we're looking it up by the spool up by nick. And now, let's see. Oh, wait a minute. This needs to be, the spool needs to be looked up by that. So it's the spool. We need to go over to the upload one, and we'll just grab the code we've got here for getting it by yeah, this right here. Actually, let's grab all this. And then we're just going to paste it in here like this. So we're going to get the user ID. We're going to try to look up the spool by something. Did we wipe it out? We did. No, we didn't. Let's go to upload and see. Where did we? Spool by user ID and nick and name. Oh, well, I see. We're passing it in that way. So here spool is passed in via an argument. So we need to get that second. Yeah, get the spool argument. So then this is equal to, do we call it nickname? Can't call it spool, so we'll call it nickname. Equals request.args.get and then this is called school. Yep. That's it. And then we're gonna get our user ID, current user, is that in here? It's gonna be Flask login current user, I think. Like that. And then, so we're gonna try to get it by user ID and name. Or first we're gonna try to get it by nickname, and then we're gonna try to get it by user ID and name. And then we're gonna, no, we don't need that. So if we don't have a spool, we'll just dump that we need to provide a valid spool here. And then we need to get the file names. So file names equals spool file names. Hold on a second. I've got like a trifecta going on today. It's like the idiots next door are scooting their chairs around, and then my very sweet office manager's out in the hall talking to somebody. But I was going to see if I could grab her to come in here and try to figure out what's going on next door. I've got these neighbors that just bang on the wall and scrape their chairs around all the time. I don't even know. And for whatever reason, it comes into the office. It sounds like it's up here, but it's actually coming through the wall. These walls are just like not much longer, and I'm moving. It'll be great. So if we don't have the, so then we're going to get the file names, and then we're going to print the file names. So what we need to do here is say if file names dot, what do I want to do here? Length the file. I want to print the file names. All right, I was just asking her to come back. So if she comes back, then we're going. I'm gonna go and let her listen to them. They're being stupid loud. Okay, so hopefully they're moving. So we've got we need to print the length of the file names. I think that's right. So then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say file name equals file name sub 0 first. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm going to I'm going to loop through those, and then we'll send them off one by one to the I'm going to send those off one by one to the detector. So in this case, this is the object localization one. So if we call /t the nickname of the sidekick, then it's going to go in to that sidekick for the spool that we call it with, and then I'm trying to think if that's right. So we're doing a post to a extension of the sidekick. So that would be like the sidekick's ability to see things. We're sending it a spool. So I think that's right. So we're sending in the spool as the argument. Because we're saying, okay, so the sidekick has, the index has this way of seeing things with object vision, and then it can be called with a thing for it to go look at, which is the spool. And the spool contains a bunch of images, so it's going to look at each image one by one. And as it looks at each image, then it'll index that image. It's going to be kind of funny if I have her come up here and listen to this, because it's, of course, like right before I was not streaming, they weren't doing it. So you can probably hear it on the stream, probably. It's loud enough probably to hear it. So then what I need to do is check to see if I'm getting a file name length, and then if we don't have any file names, then I need to say I can't process this because there's no files. So let's run this and see what happens. It's probably going to blow up, we hope, because then we've got errors and then we can fix them. So we're going to go /t, and then that's to the so we're going to do h. So let's see, this is a post. So to htt, oh, then we got to do d, and then we've got to do spool, and then the spool ID. So we need a spool, and in this case, what we can do is we can inspect, and we can go to network, and we can say, I guess we could search. We could search by that spool name. I don't know, so it doesn't matter. Faster than light travel. That'll be a good one, I guess. Because that, we've already run that through one time, so we have the full text of one of those, I think. So that's that spool, so we're going to say this. I think, didn't we say that we could, let's see, the spool, yeah, we try to get the spool. We're saying nickname, but really what we should say here is like spool nick or name. I don't know. I just don't want to make the code hard to read. Let's see here. Like this. Okay, that's what we want to do. So we can send it in by the nick or the name. And in this case, I'm sending it in by the name just because I have the name that way. And then we need to do HTTP :localhost. And then we need, this is strange prawn here. That's our index, so that's our sidekick, so strange prawn. And then what? And then we need to send it into Object Vision. And in fact, if I think about this, let me think about this for a second. So what I'd really like is that picture of the dog and I. Where did that go? I think it's in the other index. Whoops. How did that happen? Oh, I clicked on it and worked. Search. Oh, wait a minute. Let me switch to the sidekick. So terrestrial kangaroo, maybe? Yes, there it is right there. So there's the dog and I. So we actually want to send it to the spool. So like that. And then what was his name? Terrestrial kangaroo. ESTRIAL. Yeah. And then we're calling Object Vision, and then it's token equals, and we're going to grab our token. It says method not allowed. 405, method not allowed. Not allowed for the requested URL. So we're doing a post. So is that a post in here? This is the post. Oh, we're doing it, we probably got the wrong thing in here. Oh yeah, we didn't do a T. So T slash. Okay, so sidekick is not defined. Okay, that makes sense, because it's not. So user settings spool sidekick. We got some exception here. Expected string got user key. What does it say? Bad value. It says web models line 150. Line 150. Oh, models. What is going on here? Oh, line 52. So line 52 says get user by user, current user. Oh, this is .id, UID. You think that's right? So we need to move this thing up to the top. All right, now we'll just make this user ID. All right, let's run that and see what happens. Need to provide a valid spool. Okay. So we're not getting the spool. We have spool in there. So let's see what this says. It says none. Oh, it's a post. So this is form like this. It's like that. Looks promising. Something broke. Line 86. That model runs pretty quick, I think. Faster than the other one for sure. So this is response object localization. Oh, that's probably an error. Texts. So we're gonna have to go. We should probably. We have no response to give back. So let's set up a response real quick. So let's return OK. That came back OK. It says 1 right there. Oh, that's the length. So there's one file name in there. So that's working. So if, so let's see, check file names, and then we're going to say if, so we're going to say something like if length of file names is less than 1, return JSON dumps, and then something like this. Results. This is not completely accurate. We'll patch this up later. These need to be formatted like the other errors, like the spool errors and stuff like that. We've got stuff like this where it's fully formatted and stamped, time-stamped and all that. We'll fix that later. Then we need to say here, need image files in the spool to run tagger, to run model. Alrighty, so we can get rid of this. Now we're just taking the first one for now. Just take the first one for now. Alright, and then we have a response. So now we need to go over to Google. How much time we got here? 47 minutes. I should call this stream banging and scraping. That's what I should call it, because that's about what's been going on, banging and scraping. Okay, so we want to, what do I want to do here? Google Vision Python API. This one. Python reference. No. Nope. Nope. Yep, this is it. This is hard to find, actually. So if I go and look for Google Cloud Vision API or something like that, then you see this. If you click on libraries, you go here, and if you click on REST reference, and you're in docs, but see, this is guides. So I guess I could click on guides. Okay, that's how I get to it, is click on guides. Okay, good to know. Okay, so then I'm gonna go down here to multiple objects, and then it says here for object in objects. Localized object annotations. Okay, so then I guess I'm going to say objects here. And then I'm going to say for objects in objects. Then print object name, object dot score, and then it's got some vertex in. We could print the vertexes. I don't care about that. All right, so let's look at this. It shouldn't say dog in there. Say dog to me. Yeah, dog, right there. Dog. Outerwear person, that's me. Okay, good. All right, so now at this point we have a list of objects and we have score. I think I'm going to take Chow's suggestion and put dog in there a couple times, 8 times. I don't know. I'm going to multiply that by 10 and then stick it in there that many times. So I'm going to get a score. I could put dog, 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 something like that. I don't know. It's a pretty high score. I mean, is the human, it's going to put it, the outerwear, it's going to put in there 8 times as well, and it's going to put a person in there 7 times. So I could maybe have it in 2 or something like that. Well, we got to do this for each image. So we're going to have to put a for loop up there by the file name and then loop through this. But then that's okay because we're going to just send it over to the indexer. So let's look at index and let's see what we're doing here. So that's create, list, status, delete, index here. We've got this thing called numdocs indexed here. Let's take this up here and split this in half. Pull the index over here and we'll take a look at this and tag here. So we are going to loop. So I guess I'll go ahead and do that. It just seems prudent to do it now. So loop through images. So for file name in file names. And up here, what we wanted to say is we want this. So this is a number of documents. I don't know. I mean, like, I guess we could just put an index on the number of file names. Whatever. I'm just going to leave that there. It makes more sense to leave it like that, so then that way you can think about it. In case one doesn't process, we can drop it or something like that. So that, yeah, we're going to go through that like that. So it's going to be gone through like that, and then we're going to say objects in there, and then we're going to say for object and objects. So I guess we could do tags. We could build up a list of tags, I guess. So here we're going to do, no, actually we're going to do objects. But let's see, object field? Something like that equals this. We'll put it in objects for now. And then we're going to do okay, so we're going to say something like this. For x in range object score times 10, and then we want the integer of that. Sublime we want the integer value of that. And then I think well, that should do it. We can divide it by 10, whatever. I mean 2, doesn't matter. Let's put it in there that many times. Then we're going to say object field dot append object dot name. Yep. And then down here we're going to print object field. Let's rerun that. Hopefully we don't get banned. I got banned from Twitter because I lost my account. What does it say? Dog, 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 outerwear, 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 person, 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 person. That's great. That's perfect. Okay. Now what do we need to do? We need to throw it in a document. So we have documents. Let's see, what do we, search result, sidekick error, sidekick error, index response. Well, I do want to do an index response because I'm going to have to search for it and then return it, but then this thing's a spool. So technically here I need to put I need to take the spool that I have and I need to throw that in there. So let's see here. I need to create it like I'm creating a spool. And that's in upload? No, index. Here. But when I'm indexing something, I'm not. Oh, I guess well, so I need to create the object first. And here I'm requesting the object, but here I need to create the object. So this is like kind of like a roll-up of the other functions. It's like a proxy for the other functions actually. So I think it's less than ideal to do it like this maybe. I don't know. This is going to be a lot of code. So it's going to say here, here. Actually, we're not going to even return that response. We're going to copy this, and then we're going to and technically that should be object fields, I guess. Yeah, object fields. Okay. And then we're going to need to put tag spool. So this is a tag spool. And I think we have a spool tag. Yeah, we have a spool tag already. So let's rename this because I don't want it to be called spool because it's hard to read it like that. So this is a tag underscore spool like that. And then what we'll do here is put objects like that. And I don't think it's to JSON. Let's see here what we're doing here with tags. Where are our tags? It's the spool tags. I'm dumping the tags. I think that's okay. So let's look in here and say, so we're going to say here is we're going to say objects equals, well, objects, but JSON dumps objects. Why am I saying JSON dumps tags here? I'm reading the spool. Oh, here is when I'm doing it. Oh, I'm doing this in the wrong place. As usual. This is all the client context stuff. So I'm just building the return object here. So this would be, here would be objects equals JSON dumps objects, like that, comma. And then in tag spool, we're gonna have objects. Well, that's fine. And then back in tag, we've making the response, and then let's look at what, and then we're gonna return the response. Just for the second, we're gonna return it. Actually, let's print it. Print. Well, I'm making a response and formatting it. I mean, I wanted to index it because I'm making a call to the in which case I need to make it. So yeah, I'm using the template maker to make the response, but then I don't know, like render template, I mean, if I printed that out, would that work? What if I print response here? Like something like this, can I do that? I don't know. It's probably gonna bomb. No, it says repeated composite is not JSON serializable. Is that the right error? Let's try to return it. It's not what I want to do though, because actually what I want to do is after I'm done here, I want to then, yeah, okay, good. This is another error. So what I want to do here at this point is I want to then actually call the indexer. Call add document. With the JSON spool object, like that. So this thing renders it and throws it out to the web, but that's not what I want here. I'm just checking time. An hour. So we've got 30 minutes left in the stream. All right, let's pop that back up there. Hope this is big enough. I'm gonna make these a little bit bigger, just so you can see what's going on. Okay, so what did it say? It said something about repeated composite is not JSON serializable. So it says tag 126 here. Well, I don't think it's object fields is what it is. I don't know what that serializable thing is. Object of type undefined is not JSON serializable, and I'm assuming that's on that line. Tags line 127 of file names. Tag spool. There's file names. This is /t/food or something like that. Why is it having fits with that? I'm overwriting it down here, but I mean file names should be the same. So let's see if we can run that on that. Type of undefined. Why is file names undefined? I mean, clearly we're finding file names here. Because if it were undefined, it would run this, right? And there's crazy hair. Crazy hair. That shouldn't be a problem dumping that. That's JSON dumps for that. I'm not overriding it here. I mean, it is. This is undefined. I don't understand that. It says right there, line 128, file names. 128. There's a comma there. There's commas all the way down. There's file names. There's file names here. There's no file names here, but it doesn't matter. So let's, okay, so let's print file names. I don't know. I mean, why would it go away from there to there? There it is right there. That's file names. And we get down to here and there's nothing there. What if we take out the JSON dumps? Like this. We just put file names. Then what? It's 129 file names. It's not JSON serializable. I mean, I'm not trying to serialize it. I don't understand. What if I print file names here? There it is right there. What if I say file names equals that? Then what? Type undefined is not JSON. Object of type undefined is not JSON serializable. This is right here. Tag line 122. Render template. File names equals. File names. File names. I don't understand. Let's just take it out. You don't want it in there, we'll take it out. That's what I'll do for you, code. I'll just take it out. Yeah, I thought as much. So it's something else. Right here, so it's saying JSON dump. Oh, so it's going to objects. So is it tags maybe that's tripping it up? Let's see, what do we have in here? So we've got tags, we've got full text. That's what's happening. It's trying to use full text there, and there is no full text. Actually, what we need to do there is, what do we need to do? So this is, are we gonna have a separate, I don't know, should we have a separate, see, this is the problem, is that we should probably create our own, yeah, see, this is already a problem. Because what I want to do is create a dynamic object that I can build to send it on into the indexer with it. And I don't even know if I can get this out, and I'm just, well, let's go ahead and let's set full text here. Like that. We need to put file names back in here, because that was not a problem. And was it, I don't remember, let's just undo all of it. There we go. Yeah, the templater doesn't really give us a good error on that. Full text equals like that. Just give me the object. There, finally. Okay. So now you can see objects, dog, 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 outerwear, 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 person, person, person. So that's good. How many times is dog in there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's how many we expect. And then person should be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's right. Okay. So now what I want to know is, can I print the response here? Dot text. Can I do that? It has no attribute text. So let's print the directory of this. That's what I call it, the directory. I don't know what this actually means. It'll give us the methods of it. So it says here, status code, stream, berry, response. We have text. Oh, we have get JSON. Like that. What else do we have? From header, content localization, content MD5, character set, data, get data, I have to send her a message. You might have to wait a couple of minutes. Manager's coming up here, so let's see, where are we on our time? So this is pretty exciting. I think we've actually got, we're at hour 12. So what I might do is cut this short and then do another one. Might as well. So I can deal with this noisy problem, because this is kind of it hurts the mind when they're so noisy. So what do we get? We said that we got a bound JSON mix in, get JSON of response, 802 bytes. That's not helpful. So this is definitely something that needs to be solved here. So let's talk through this, and then when she gets here, I'm gonna, let's try data. Here, data. So the problem defined is that we're returning a JSON object, but it's a, see, that's none. So there's no data. Oh, bound mix in of, okay, this? No, I just said none. So we don't actually want to render it, but we do want to use a template. So we need to get the object back as is in like a string that we can then forward on to the indexer. So all we have to really do here is get that object, which we're doing here through this get JSON request. So I need to get JSON out of this. So maybe I don't make a response, maybe I just do this. What if I just get rid of this? And then I print the response. Maybe that's text, huh? Well, that's interesting. Oh, it worked. There it is. So now we have that. That's perfect. So then what we need to do now is we need to forward it over to the indexer. Oh, and it returned the response. It just didn't format it. So I guess that other wrapper, that render template, I'm sorry, the make response, it creates a response object. But here it's just returning text, just like we do when we do OK, it'll just format it as a response object. So let me go open the door for her. what we need to do now is we need to send, yeah, this is the indexer. So we need to send the document here. Let's do a JSON dumps on this. That. That doesn't look great. I don't think that's required. I feel like it's already JSON. I mean, it's formatted like JSON. It looks like JSON up here. So let's take this and copy it and go and check and see if it's JSON. That's JSON. So that's good. All right, so let's go back to this. And then what we need to do here is we need to send it to the index. So we need to do this thing right here. Right here. So I don't think, because we're making multiple documents, I am going to have to return something like what we did before in the count. So I have in the, where did it go? In the reference, I have it actually returning a full document, but we're not going to be able to do this. Or I could build the documents up, I guess. I could just like keep building this out. That's possible. Well, I don't know. Let's not talk about it. Let's do it. Okay, so add a document. Number of documents index, blah, blah. Okay, so we're going to send that in. Let me look at the docs real quick. So this thing I'm getting back. This is the object I'm sending in. And then this is what index is grabbing. There's where I'm doing the response. This needs to be document response. Like that. Plus the name of the sidekick, which we've got. And then we need add document. Like that. Well, let's try that and see what happens. Whoops. Indentation error, of course. What's wrong with that? Oh, I see. Oh, well, and this is also response. Response. well, that makes sense. Because it's text. So what we need to do is we need to do a JSON loads response like that. And it says it indexed it. Maybe. So let's go at let's go look at it. Let's get this. What did I change in here? What? I don't know. How's that different? Okay, whatever. So we need to go look at this box 3483. 3483. This would be exciting if it works. I don't know which one is this. It'd be easier if we were using the other one. Let's see here. So it's terrestrial kangaroo. Yeah, terrestrial kangaroo. So let's go in and look at data store and Sidekick, and it's, let's see here, Sidekick I5. So then we're going to go into the course selector and we're going to select Sidekick I5, which is where, this one here. And then we're going to query and we're going to execute the query, and then we're going to look for something different. I don't see it. I mean, I made a call to it. We didn't get an error back. We could print this. So we want to print JSON loads response. Like that. And here we're printing the response. It has source type spool, so this is exactly what we should expect to have gone into the index. Let's see, let's do 20 of these. It only found 4. Let's see here. Let's look at it. It says tags, objects. Look at over here, objects, dog, dog, dog. Let's make sure this is valid JSON. Now we're probably over time. No, that's valid JSON. Are we over time? No, we got 5 minutes left. That's great. Maybe we can figure this out in 5 minutes. Okay, so here, so we're loading the response into a JSON object, and then we're passing it in. So that actually looks, ooh. We need to do a JSON dumps on this. Like that. The reason we're doing that is because we have an object that's text, which was formatted by the template, and then we have to load it in and then trim off the response, pull out the response, which is a subsection of the template here. Let's see here, view, layout, single. We're pulling out this. We're dropping this off. I mean, we want to leave it like this in case we want to return something. This is the response we need to return to the user, because we always have those headers in there. But headers. So let's try this. This should work. And okay. So then in theory it sent it over. So let's execute this and see. There should be 5. Oh, there's nothing. Okay. At least it's pretty clear it's her. So we're adding to the document, and we've got the sidekick name, and we've got the current user ID, and we're sending it to this particular index. And this is the problem with the Solr stuff, is we're not getting a good idea where it's going. Oh wait, no, that's my. I got excited for a second. Yeah, I mean, it's not in here because we have 4 documents. That's the problem. It should be more than 4 documents. But I mean, this should be working. So like, I don't understand. If we print this and we get it here. Oh. So we're printing JSON loads response. We're printing that. So let's print this and see what that does. Oh, here we're returning that response. So we're printing it here. Here we're printing it, and that's the source type. So let's do it just like it's here. So we want to do a JSON dumps, JSON loads response. Like that, and then save that, and then run this again. We're very close. And then we're printing that over here. So let's copy this, and then what do we want to do with this thing? I think this is what I want to do, is I want to go in here and I want to do data. So this is what it should look like. Okay, let's not do that. Let's put it in here. I gotta hustle so we can get done in time. So there's that, and it doesn't look the same. It's a yeah. Oh, it wants the response. Well, it wants the response when I index it. When I send this to the indexer, that's what it wants. It wants But when I actually see, I grab the response and then I can send it a list, which is what's here. This is what we're sending. This is what we're sending over to. Yeah, that's what we're sending to Solr for sure. So let's take this. How can we do this? Because it needs to be in something that looks like this. So let's copy that, and then let's put this in here like this. Beep, like that. That should work. Let's indent that. Not that it matters. Let's do it like that. And then let's run, let's see here, history, grep, what is it, data.json? There it is. So I'm going to do bang 816. That's sending it to Mitta. That's fine. Browser proxy center request this server could not understand. Why? So it's sending data. Oh, we're in the wrong directory. CD static. Okay, and it said it sent it to terrestrial kangaroo, so we could be in luck here. 5 documents. Oh yeah. Bam! Right there. Here, object, dogs. Okay, so now we should be able to search for it, I believe. So search objects dog. Bam! Okay, that's it. So if you like the video and the stream and the idea and me and the dog, be sure and give it a thumbs up and like it. That's the same thing as giving it a thumbs up, and subscribe and click that notification bell. I need to get some more subscribers. It's a little discouraging, but I'm gonna get this thing done. We're gonna crank this out, and you're gonna see that this is gonna be pretty awesome when I get done with it. So that record came back because there's a dog in the picture. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, well, at least I think it's awesome. So take care and have a great day, and I'll see you later. I'm Cord Campbell, and this is Coding Mitta. Take care. Bye.